Hello, my name is Jackson Vanfrock, CST321, and I've looked into the 5 roots of nonverbal behavior. And I actually found this quite interesting looking into it. I haven't really deep dove into it, and there were some things that I learned that, I didn't really know. So the first one that I was looking at was the sensory deprivation studies, and that was kind of just like kids that are blind or couldn't hear. And so it's like when you think about those kids, you think about, okay, this kid has never seen in his life. How does he know that when to smile, it's a good thing, and when to cry, it's a bad thing, or something like that? So that's just like kind of look at that, and you're like, okay, so maybe the human body, it's connected genetically or something like that, and it's biologically hardwired. So that's honestly kind of cool to me. And then the second one, infants and children, is kind of the same thing. Like when a baby comes out, why is the first thing that he does cry? Like, how does he know that that's the first thing to do, or that he's upset? Or when he meets his dad, the first thing to do is smile, you know? So it's kind of cool. It's nonverbal, but it's something that's wired into him, like just hardwired, I guess. And then third one was the twin studies. I actually found this one the most compelling, just because my siblings are twins, so I've kind of got to see it firsthand. And they kind of just communicate on a level of like they don't really need to say or think about something, you know, especially like because some might like they're not together all the time, but I feel like they're always kind of on the same page. And then that also kind of makes me think about the Parent Trap movie where, you know, two girls, they're across the country, and then they meet each other, and then they immediately click, and then they figure out that they're twins. So it's like, even though it's not real, it is a pretty good, example of how it can actually be applied. And you kind of learn someone fast when you're with them all the time. And I can kind of like go to myself, is like with me and my roommate, like we got pretty close. We ended up living together for over a year. So sometimes like I can tell just how he's feeling just based off how he's looking or something like that. And so it's kind of cool. You can often communicate with just eyes and just tell like how people are thinking. And then the fourth one, non-human communication. And this is often in animals. So think about like whenever animals like just do stuff, like say a predator is marking their territory, like they're communicating with everybody not to go there, and they don't have to say anything. Or like when a wolf howls, like he's signaling his pack to come there. And even though they can't talk with each other, they understand like, okay, I need to I need to listen to this. This is my leader. So what? And then also my dog, like whenever my dog has to go to the bathroom, like he always claws on the door. So it's like he's learned that him clawing on the door means that he needs to go to the bathroom, and he obviously can't talk. He doesn't know what the bathroom means, da 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 da. Da. But this is just something that like he's learned, and it shows that nonverbal communication is kind of one of the most important things that you can honestly learn. And then honestly, honestly, the next one that I was thinking about was multicultural studies. Sorry. And this is just kind of like, like say I go to a country like China or something. I don't know how to speak their language. I don't know how to communicate with them. So when I go there, it's like they look at me, they might give me a smile or no, no, no. Okay, like these people are friendly. Versus like I walk past a group of people and they stare at me, me mug, or like glare at me, and I'm like, okay, this might not be an area I want to be in. So it's like you can apply all these five like different things, and it's just like it kind of makes you appreciate how unique the human is, because we have so many ways of communicating, and then also animals too, because just living beings in general, like how biological stuff can be passed down, how things that we never really thought of, like maybe even like a deer crossing the street, like he knows that there's cars coming by, and he knows that people may stop when he's coming, but he also knows that there's a risk. So there's just a lot of stuff that you can you can think about going into this thing. And then um yeah, so I would just say, to conclude, nonverbal communication is pretty much biological, genetic, and environment. And then you can also kind of think about the culture, like all the people that you're around. Like maybe I go somewhere else and a word means something else. Like then the interpretation is going to be different. And then if you understand this, it could help you, you know, use nonverbal cues in daily life, you know? Like, yeah.